On August 10th, 2001, the world was introduced to the show Samurai Jack. The show, which was about a samurai who fights the demon lord Aku, who sends him far into the future where he rules everything, has to fight different enemies that cross his path, and encounters new zany characters each episode, was able to find success and have a huge fandom behind it. The last episode to air, Jack and the Baby, came out on September 25th, 2004. The episode and series came to an unexpected end, with Jack walking off into the sunset, continuing his adventure, while also not confirming whether or not he gets back to the past. Over the next 12 years, people asked the creator and star of the show whether or not Jack got back to the past or not, and both parties expressed vague yet assuring answers to that question. There were talks about a movie concluding everything, but that never really got off the ground, and by then they were doing their own thing and everyone was happy. From that point on, people just thought there was never going to be a direct answer to that question. But on a cold December morning in 2015, hope came in a teaser video that was posted on Adult Swim's various social media pages. That's right, after almost 12 years, Samurai Jack was coming back in 2016. The internet jumped with joy with the news, as everyone, including me, wanted 2016 knowing there was something good coming. But by mid-2016, it was kinda agreed it was gonna come out then, which kinda sucked. But it was a given that 2017 was gonna be the year of Jack, and boy was it. Samurai Jack premiered on March 11th, 2017 on Adult Swim's Toonami block. A perfect choice for this type of show. This season was more mature and darker than the other seasons, but that's what you get when you go with Adult Swim as a channel for distributing it. In this season, set 50 years after the events of Season 4, Jack is shown to be venturing all over trying to keep peace and that against the powers of Aku's machines. Aku himself hasn't been seen for years, as he's shown to be depressed off screen for not killing Jack all this time. Speaking of depression, Jack has been having visions of himself that only he can see and talk to, who pretty much tells him to give up and join his family in the afterlife. While Jack wanders, there's a woman who belongs to this cult called the Cult of Aku, who gives birth to 7 girls, who are then known as the Daughters of Aku, whose purpose is to kill the samurai. Now with that premise alone, that would make for an amazing arc to follow over the season. I will tune in to see the hunt between the sisters and Jack, and soon Aku will realize this and join in, and they'll culminate into a final battle between the heroes and villains. But unfortunately, we didn't really get that. Now don't get me wrong, Samurai Jack Season 5 is still pretty bloody good. All I'm saying is that there's some stuff that could have been done a little better than what we gotten, and let's just talk about that. So, without further ado, let's talk about what could have made Samurai Jack Season 5 a little bit better. First off, there's the issue of pacing. This season had 10 episodes, each connecting one another to make one long overarching story. The idea of this is that if you re-edit the entire season into one, it could play as one large movie. Now that can work with shows like 24, whose entire premise is that each episode takes place in real time. And while Samurai Jack doesn't necessarily do that, it has a strong sense of continuity that follows each episode. So one episode can end and can immediately pick up next episode. Next, let's talk about the characters. Characters have a moment to shine this season, and episode 6 is what I like to call the "Hey, I remember them" episode, because that's what it is. It's a collection of cameos of characters we've seen from the past seasons. I'm fine with that, but there were points where I felt like they weren't given their proper time to shine. While I could point out episode 6 as being the key to this whole thing, with cameos left and right, and of course the Mongo, who I wanted to have like at least maybe a few more minutes on screen at best, instead of like a simple walk in, say your line, and walk out cameo. I want to point out the Daughters of Aku and the Code of Aku next, because I felt that we should have gotten more screen time with them, instead of them being just defined as this main sect to be the villains. I want more info as to how the cult started, how people got in, who are the people under the mask, and what their motive is for joining. And while also on that subject, I want to know more info about the mother, because we aren't given too much information for who she is under that mask. And the only time we do see her unmasked is during the birth scene in the first episode. And even then, she's only shown in a silhouette. And I felt that, while it does add to the mystery, it's too much of a mystery where that's kind of in the back of my head thinking like, who is this? And why is she a key part of this? But I could be going on too long for this. All I'm saying is that if there was just like more time devoted to the characters, giving them more screen time, I would be fine with them having just cameo appearances. I'm not fine with them having cameos that last like a few seconds. I'm fine with them having a few minutes. But there are also points where I want characters to kind of have more screen time so we know what their motivation is. Otherwise, just have a character that's thrown in the story for no reason. The final thing I want to touch on in this is something that all fans for the series are pretty much split about. Some love it, some hate it. I'm part of the indifferent part. And that is the relationship between Jack and Ashi. Now, originally I wasn't indifferent about it. In fact, I was pretty confused with why they would take this cliche route of all things and put it in this show. But after seeing Rebel Taxi talk about the series and then bringing up season 5 in his review, I'm just going to agree with what he said. They're both virgins, so it's kind of easy to accept that mentality for it. Do I think it's a bad idea looking into it now? Not really. I mean, you're still in that cliche part of things, but if this is the story Genndy wanted to tell, then I guess let him tell it. Like, I honestly don't see an issue with a person's vision, unless I make a fandom toxic. Toxic fandoms ruin good shows. Just want to get that out there. Now, do I think pacing is an issue with this? Yes. Because we go from Ashi hating Jack, to not wanting to kill Jack, to helping Jack, to wanting to fuck him. And it feels strange that we got these different iterations of Ashi during the season. Now, if we got more episodes and we explored more of a connection between the two, I think I can accept that. But it plays it off as, we just met, I want to help you, now I want to bang you. And looking back on it, I can laugh at it, but if you really think about this from an artistic standpoint, it's just kind of sloppy pacing. And I feel bad for knowing this, and that nothing can be done now. But, like I said, how can I argue with someone's vision? I can talk about their vision and how I think about it, but I really can't argue with what someone has in their mind. So with all this I had to say, what do I think of Samurai Jack Season 5 as a whole? I mean, with all the issues that it has, there are still parts of it that are so amazing and incredible to have to see. The writing, the artwork, the direction, the characters, the voice acting, all that outweighs the issues. And I'm so lucky to have seen it when I can, because if you look back at the date for the original series, I was still a toddler when the show came out. This show has that influence on me to want to be an animator. And seeing it come back years later as an, I would like to say, more mature person, but I kind of feel I'm averagely mature at best, is still amazing. And I'm lucky to have seen it when I got a chance to see it. And I'm pretty sure you were lucky too to have seen it when you got the chance as well. Season 5 may have its issues, but these issues are like nitpicks at best. There are parts that still hold up pretty well even a year later. And I got so much respect for this series and the people who made it work. And I'm not gonna lie, over there on the right side of my bed, I have a desk, and on top of that desk, I have Samurai Jack Season 5 held up like a shrine. That's how much this show kicks so much ass. So, in the end, if I had to give a grade for this, I'd give it an A, no doubt. I mean, there's stuff in there that you notice, but there's stuff that outweighs that, so you don't really notice it anymore. So, to end it all, Samurai Jack Season 5 kicks so much fucking ass. And I'm so glad that this show exists in a time where we get shitty cartoons it's glad to see that there's at least some heart still out there in the animation world.